Hi, I'm Renée Walker, a mindset mentor, speaker, and lover of all things spiritual. I believe that at our core, we are all spiritually wired for love, peace, success, and abundance. Here on the podcast, we're diving into mindset, wellness, and business, but always through a spiritual lens. Let's just say we're going deep, but we're keeping it light. So let's elevate your life from the inside out, one conversation at a time. Welcome to Spiritually Wired. Welcome back to the Spiritually Wired podcast. I am recording this 2 weeks before I turn 50. So I'm not a big birthday person, I will say that. I didn't grow up in an environment or in a house that, we didn't make a huge deal about birthdays. Of course, we celebrated our birthdays, but I've not, birthdays are birthdays. I don't usually make a big deal out of it. 50 feels pretty significant in some way. So I thought I would share with you 10 lessons that I've learned in my 40s, which, of course, I'm bringing with me into my 50s. So I hope that you enjoy this episode. You're going to hear it in two parts. So today is the first 5 lessons that I learned, and then next week will be the next 5 lessons with the bonus lesson as well. I will say, I'm going to preface this by saying that I am excited about what is coming next. I'm in a place where, I'm turning 50 and there's this new chapter unfolding in the sense that my kids are now older. My husband and I have more time to spend together. We get to make plans and do things so differently now than we did for years when we were just busy in the thick of it, right? Busy parenting and doing all this stuff. I am more passionate about the work that I do. I'm so passionate about it. So that is exciting to me. And then on top of that, I recently, this past couple of years, went into more of learning about my human design. And so the cool thing when I did that, and you may have listened to, I have a podcast episode that I did with Erin Claire Jones on human design, which was amazing. And then I also had Tiffany Jacobs come into the Spiritually Wired membership to teach us more about it. But one of the cool things that I found out is that my profile is, so I'm a manifesting generator, but I'm also a 6-2 profile. And the 6 line follows a 3-part journey. And what that means is that when you're a 6 or you have a 6 in your profile, the first 30 years are all about trial and error. Then the next phase is all about reflection and integration, which I would say definitely speaks to what life has been. And now the 3rd phase is where you really start to lead by just living. And this is where you get to carry your wisdom and you become more of a leader. So when I first saw that, I'm so glad that I learned about my profile when I was basically turning 50 right there, because otherwise I would have been impatient trying to be like, well, that's not good. I'm ready for this now. So it was fun to get my profile right before I was turning 50. So there you go. I'm ready for it. And I really hope that you enjoy this episode. It comes from my heart. And here we go. Let's get straight to it. Lesson number 1. Aging is a privilege. This is a reframe that I learned in my 40s, but am definitely carrying with me in my 50s. I am seeing my aging on my face, So, as we all know, we see ourselves in the mirror. And now, for me, with the work that I do, I get to see my face on Zoom so much, on social media as well. And it has been interesting to learn, to accept, I want to say love myself as I continue to age. Still working on that. But the one thing that's helping me the most is reframing it to I get to age. Aging is a privilege. If I've learned anything in my 40s, it's that life is very fragile and we have lost many people at a young age. And so getting to be 50 is not something that everyone experiences. So when I get caught up in comparing myself, when I get caught up in not liking what I'm seeing in the mirror and thinking that maybe I need to fix it, because let's be real, I know my feed is pretty full of Botox and fillers and cosmetic surgery, and I am not against any of that. Just to be clear, at this point in my life, I've chosen not to do anything like that, and I'm not saying that I never will, because I've learned to say never. However, for now, it's a decision that I've made, but I have to say that it's one that I am having to reframe often. So aging is a privilege. You know, one of my favorite, I go for walks every day, and there's this bench that I love to go to. Sometimes I sit, sometimes I just walk by it. It's by the lake. And I remember when we first moved here, I noticed that there was this plaque, and it was hidden on one of the stones by the lake. And it is the name of a woman, and it is friends that placed it there. And the year that she was born and when she passed. And she was born in 1975, which is my year, and she passed away a few years ago. And every time I go by that, I'm just reminded that, yes, today's a gift. And it's not been a gift for everyone. So I'm really choosing to be in that space of reframing it always to aging as a privilege. And it's something that I'm working on. And something tells me I'm going to have to really hold on to that as, life just continues to evolve in my face and in my body. So that is lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, the bigger things in life you don't see coming. So there's no use in worrying about them. So that has also been a big one. We spend, so many of the things that I was worrying about never happened. So spending so much energy worrying about things that most of them never happened. And the challenges that I did face were challenges that I never saw coming, right? It's that idea of like that slip that you have outside, right? You do everything to protect and to make sure that you're healthy and do all of the things. And then there's, just this fluke accident that happens that changes the course of your life or changes your path for a while. So that has also been a big lesson. The bigger things we usually don't see coming. And in that, what that gives me is just, there's no need to spend so much energy worrying. It always comes back to that trust piece, the surrendering piece. When I stay in a place of just surrendering, yes, I'm paying attention. Yes, I'm living from a place where I'm choosing love, and choosing love means loving myself. So it means being healthy. It means, doing the things that support me in the best way. So it's not that I'm not doing anything to support myself, but the worrying really leads to nothing. And so that's been another reframe that's really helped me in these past years. Learning to receive is everything. So that is lesson 3. Yes. Whew. That's been big in my 40s. A lot of these lessons have come because I am in a place of such deep awareness. So learning to receive, I did not realize to what extent I was closed off from receiving. And in particular, I had this one injury where I fractured, my knee and, did some nerve damage to my leg. And of course, as lesson 2 tells us, did not see that one coming. And so in the process, though, of recuperating from that, of healing, it was obviously challenging to walk, but I couldn't drive as well. And there was just, it affected my everyday life. And I will say that I am blessed with just this incredible network of friends and family always, offering to support me. So I was receiving all of these, people were reaching out, wanting to help me, and I could feel my heart closing off. So that's been the lesson. The lesson for me is energetically, right? The heart chakra is all about giving and receiving. And for many of us, giving is easy, but the receiving piece, not so much. And I guess that in my case, I just did not realize how much I was closing off. So I started to really feel it in my body. I could feel the restriction in my heart when someone would say, oh, I'll come and help you, or, I'll come and pick you up, or, I'll do something. My first thing was like, no, it's fine. I'll just Uber. I'll do this. I'll do that. I just did not want to impose on everyone. It was this, these old ways of thinking of, I don't want to be too much. I don't want to, bother anyone. So I can do it myself. And in the noticing, because this is how we heal, is we notice it, we begin to witness it. So I could witness it happening in my body. I knew that this was an invitation. So if you're feeling resistance, whenever something is showing up, that resistance is there to show you that there is room here. There's an opportunity for letting that go, for releasing, for moving through it, right? Because the only way out is through. And so witnessing that resistance, I really started to pay attention to it and to realize that, yes, it's time for me to learn to receive. And in the learning to receive, which was so interesting because, an example of this is one of my friends, I was going to an event and she said, I'll come and pick you up. And again, I felt so uncomfortable. I felt like, oh, I'm out of the way. She lives in a different neighborhood. But anyhow, I said yes. She picked me up. We went, we came back, and we had just the most beautiful conversation. And she's not someone that I get to see one-on-one that often. And when we were just at the end of the night, we're talking in the car, and it was just this knowing of, this would not have happened had I not said yes, had I not given myself permission to receive. This would have been a missed moment. And so in opening yourself up to receive, there's so many other blessings that come. So it's more than just the actual exchange of like, yes, you're giving me a ride. Yes, I appreciate that ride. But boy, it's the connection that was created in that moment. I had other friends, it was around Christmas, and they offered to come and help me decorate the Christmas tree. Now, I'm a little bit controlling when it comes to decorating the Christmas tree. I will say, I'd love to say that so many things have changed, but that is one thing where, like, I did not have the Christmas tree where I just let my kids put everything on it. So yes, I will raise my hand and take ownership of that. So it was interesting because when they said, "Oh, we'll come help you," I'm like, "Oh, no, no, it's okay. Like, I'll figure it out." There was no way I was going to figure that one out. Like, there was just no way. I couldn't even walk. I was on crutches. It wasn't going to help. So anyhow, they came and I was directing them where to put everything. But we had so much fun. It was such a beautiful time. And it was an experience that, again, I would have never had I not been open to saying yes to it. So that was another big lesson in the past. Like, and I say in my 40s because it's been building, but that was like a really tangible example of it. Lesson number 4, no one has it figured out. So release this idea that everyone's got it figured out and you are the only one who is trying to. So I was always under I had this idea, this illusion, especially when I was younger, that everyone else has got it. They've got it figured out. They're confident. When I see someone being confident or what I perceive to be confident, it's because they don't have any fear and they know exactly what they're doing. And everyone else around me seems to know what they're doing. And the problem is me. So I'm the one who's like broken. And there was so much of that I was carrying and thinking that it was just to me. I know it seems crazy. Of course, that is so ego driven. Of course, it's not just to me. But that has been, I would say that lesson started certainly earlier as I've been part of the personal development, been doing personal development for 20 plus years. So that realization and being in coaching groups had started, but then now as I've been working more with people and as I've been showing up in much bigger ways, and I'll have people come to me and say, "Oh my gosh, like it looks so easy. I know, like it's so easy for you to do this and do that and whatever." And it's in those moments that I'm like, "Oh, no, it isn't. I've just increased my capacity to be uncomfortable. And so I've been doing it uncomfortable, thinking that maybe I'm not doing it right, but I've kept going. And now, yes, some things do feel easier because that capacity now is so much bigger. But it's not because I have it more figured out." So that's been a big one. And I'd say that, again, it's in just surrounding myself with other people that are willing to be vulnerable and real and raw and share. And so having those deeper connections, knowing that, okay, I'm not alone. That person also feels that way. And so I've been blessed to be in those connections, but then also in just doing it, realizing that the path there wasn't just to figure it out. It was actually to just do it, to just take the action. And the more I would take the action, the more it actually becomes more comfortable. And so I've got some big goals that feel scary to me now. And when I look at them, they feel like, oh, that's not for me. Like that's for those people who have it figured out. So I'm still working on some expansion, some parts, some goals, some things that I want to do that still feel, like I want to hide, yet I also know that I'm going to step into it just like I have in all the other ways. So no one's got it figured out. We're all figuring it out together. Lesson number 5. Ooh, that's been a big one. You are either going to inspire people or you are going to trigger people, and it has nothing to do with you. Their reaction is their reaction, and it is completely independent of you. So the reason why that one's been hard is the need to be liked, to want to make sure that everyone likes me and that I don't upset people. So the people pleasing part of me, and I know that this is something that is common for many people, that has really played a big part in my life. And I'd say in my 40s is where I've been able to accept that I'm not meant to be liked by everyone. Of course, it's more fun when you are, but that the more that I show up authentically, the more that I show up as me, it's either going to inspire someone and be like, oh my gosh, I love it. Yes. Like, I want to be a part of what you're doing. I want to learn. I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. So either you're going to inspire them or you will trigger them. And triggering them has nothing to do with you because it's just sort of touching a part of them that either is unhealed, either it's a part where they see you doing something and it makes them realize, I want that. And so that resistance that is triggered will then, it's going to trigger them. And that has nothing to do with you. So what I've learned in the past or in this past decade has been to be okay with triggering people, with not being liked. Of course, as I said, it's always more fun when you are, but that's been a big one. And I'd say that I definitely still get upset or hurt. But now one of the reframes as well is just, okay, so that means that so long as I'm showing up in a way that feels aligned and I'm showing up from a place of love, then that is, once again, the surrendering piece is you can't control how it's going to affect people. And so our work, our job is to show up as ourselves and then trust that it is going to work out for your highest best and for their highest best. Because here's the thing, in triggering someone, that is for their best. So even though it might be uncomfortable for them, if they have the awareness of it and they realize, and it's an opportunity for someone to be like, okay, why is it affecting me in this way? And what is this showing me? What is this resistance showing me? Now, I get triggered by people. So I'm saying it from like the vice versa. When I get triggered by someone, that is my invitation to pause and to ask, where is this resistance coming from? Is it because there's a part of me that wants that as well? Is it because there's a part of me that it's speaking to a part of me that I am shutting down? Maybe, I am playing small right now and I'm seeing somebody, on stage playing big and yeah, I'm feeling triggered, but it's not triggered because I'm upset with that person. It's just the resistance is showing me something. So resistance is always teaching you. And when we can learn to work with it, such a big shift as you move forward. So that has been a big one as well. I hope that you enjoy these lessons so far, but make sure that you tune in next week to hear the next 5 lessons. Plus, I've got a bonus lesson for you as well. As always, I want to remind you that you are spiritually wired for love, for peace, for success, and abundance. Make sure that you come and join us on Instagram at Renee Walker Wellness and come share with me some of the lessons that you've been learning these past few years. I would love to hear. I'm sending you so much love, and we'll see you next week where we keep celebrating the big 5-0 that's happening right now. Thank you for listening to Spiritually Wired. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow and leave a review. It really makes a big difference for the podcast. And if you're ready to dive deeper and join a soul-led community, come be a part of the Spiritually Wired membership. With weekly live lessons and a rich library of recorded classes, it's designed to support you every step of the way on your spiritual journey. We currently have a special offer where you can receive your first month for half the price. You can find a link in the show notes or come check it out at reneewalkerwellness.com. Until next time, remember to take some deep breaths. Remember that you are spiritually wired.